What up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, want to thank you for joining us for another edition of the Charles Coleman Podcast. This is the new home for Black Brilliance, and I am your host, Charles Coleman, and I'm so glad to welcome you to another episode. We're going to get right into things, but before we do, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you are liking and sharing and subscribe to the Charles Coleman Podcast, not just on YouTube, but also on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music, wherever you get podcasts. We are all the way up and all the way outside. The Charles Coleman Podcast, your brand new favorite podcast. So you all know what it is. Super excited to have my dream team is with me. I'm running the Triangle office this week. Looking forward to the conversation. But to my right, she needs no introduction. She's the leader of the Blue Note. She's the boss at 593 Washington, the professional winner. Gloria Cherubin is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, what's up, what's up? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I can't complain.
I love the plaid situation you got going on. You looking like...
I have to give Scotch and Soda a little play.
Little run.
A little something, something.
It's working for you.
I appreciate you.
This is a good palette for you.
Thank you.
Always good to have you on the couch. And of course, to my left, understated, never underrated, smooth as cashmere, Kirk Quillen is in the building. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to let you do it. All right? This is what we're going to do. How you doing, bro?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good with it, right? Like, so let me be clear. I'm good with this, right? Mm-hmm. But there may be people who are legit confused by the stunners that you got on.
I mean, it's the type of vibe I'm on today.
All right. And listen, if that's what you want, then we're going to be on it.
Let's move on.
Let's move. Hold on. Did you tell me to move on?
No, I said let's move on.
Oh, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. I was like to say, we not on that vibe, but we're going to let you rock. But I do have a funny story, though, since we're here. And I waited to tell you this because we got an update on this one over here. So for those who are listening.
Oh, man. Here we go again.
Kurt, we have an update on G. Cherubin and her ways, as we say.
Oh.
I'm at the lounge. We are playing Uno. All right? We're playing Uno. I'm at the lounge. This happened like in the past, not even 2 weeks, like past like 10 days. Like, G decides she's going to play. All right, cool. So it's, usual suspects, a bunch of regulars, right? So Stevie was playing for G when G was moving around because she was working as well. Mm-hmm. So G gives Stevie the cards to play for her while she's working. And then as soon as she gets up, I don't know how it happened, who started, or it might have been Ange or Stan, somebody. The draw twos started coming. They was piling up. Mm. So Gloria was sitting next to me because she wanted the smoke. So she was sitting right next to me while this is going on. So I had it in the holster ready. Like, nah, you're not going to get me, beloved. Let's do it. Bow. We bust Gloria in the head for like literally a draw 10. I'm not even kidding you.
Crazy.
We bust her in the head for a draw 10.
Because y'all all be conspiring against me, bro.
Yeah, whatever. You the victim, right? So this actually happened.
See?
She gets up, she comes back. I literally hear her say, she gets the card, she says, the fuck? Like when she comes back because we busting that so bad. All right, cool. So she knows she got all these cards. We still playing, she's still working. We still playing, she's still working. She gets up, she walks back, comes around one time. Gloria says, Uno. We was like, hold on. How?
Sway.
Stacking.
How?
It's simple.
Stacking.
Stevie was stacking while I was missing. For 2 seconds, I came back. He handed me back 2 cards. I hit that 2, yellow. Boom. Uno.
She does this all.
And I won quick. I was on him like this. And I'm the winner.
Right.
Uno
out.
Came back
that simple.
and was like, Uno, this is what she...
That's why we got to stop stacking.
Listen.
That's what you say it is?
We got to stop
stacking.
Stacking
Is legit.
It's the black way. Nah, I can't coach.
Nah, we got to stop stacking. Let's play this out.
There's
40 of us in the round anyway. Come on.
It should
be a limit.
It
right?
do be like 40.
Everybody get 1 card. Come on, B. How you go through it? How you deal out a whole Uno deck?
We play with like 5 decks.
There'd be so many cards,
Come on, man.
But yes, there's an update, ladies and gentlemen. Gloria is still a cheater.
That's the update. The update is that I won. Fair and square.
What's that other game we been playing? I've been cooking
Phase
lately.
10.
Phase 10, I hate it.
Phase 10 is it.
I mean,
Phase 10 is lit.
It's made by a black man, so I'm gonna show love, but Gloria been
Who
playing
had no
Face 10.
friends. Whoever made it. He
Gloria's
did not
been-
want this card game to end.
No, you will not go
You'll
home.
never go home.
You'll never go home.
Gloria's been playing Phase 10 for a while, so she got the advantage on that. She's like, she be known. But she has the advantage, and she still cheats on that.
Listen.
She'll jump in. I'm at
I'm
Phase
tired
3.
Of you calling it cheating, bro.
What is
it's
it?
not cheating.
What you
It's
call it?
strategic playing. I'm playing to win, man. And y'all gotta pay attention. Y'all mad distracted doing a lot of things.
Trying to
Angie be
win.
playing another game on her phone while she playing the card game. Come on, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm here to win.
And that's it. Win and go home.
Win and go home. We're gonna get
A
out
win
of
is a
here
win.
quick. A win is a win. If I skip a couple phases, that's on you
That's
for
on
slipping.
you. Word.
Look,
What's phase 9 again?
It's right.
that's going to bring us to our shortcuts. This is our news and views, conversations that you may not be hearing about, but are top of the mind. They're relevant to us. They're relevant to community. They're relevant to you. And so we're going to start talking about. But we are going to have some fun before we get there. Anytime that I am hanging out, it never fails. It could be a room full of us. It could be a room full of our people. And the minute that a DJ, it's not. It's cool. It's not bad. It's not
Okay.
bad. The minute that a DJ plays Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, we go nuts. Like we go nuts, right? And it's a couple other joints that we didn't make, but that we know and we love. Sweet Child of Mine, we know that joint.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us know Sweet Caroline. Most of us know, like, even if you really want to get in your bag, a lot of us know, like, Layla and Tears from Heaven by Eric Clapton. Like, we go. Like, some of us even know, like, Coldplay. Like, we just go. So I got a question to have some fun. What is your favorite non-Black anthem? Like, that you know you're going to hear and you're not going to be, you could be in a room full of us and it's not Black. Like, we didn't make it, but we know it. What's your favorite, Kurt? What's your favorite non-Black anthem?
Blurred Lines.
I mean,
Hey.
did we not talk about this summer? Didn't we talk like last summer about what that song is about?
Yeah. But you said non-us joint. That's a joint.
That's you going with Blurred Lines?
Blurred Lines, baby.
And I mean,
And the meaning. I'm standing on it. What's up?
Nah, we're not doing that.
Nah, we're doing that.
Edit button.
Nope.
That's an easy edit button.
Blurred Lines. I know you want it. Yeah. Download it. What's up?
All right. This guy's a buffoon. Gloria, what is your favorite non-Black anthem?
Blurred Lines too.
Nah, son. I'm going with Lisa Stanfield. Been around the world and now, yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I can't find. That's my joint right there, man.
Is it?
Yeah, yo. But
Wow.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Okay.
I ain't know Lisa wasn't us.
There's
bro.
a whole video.
I know, but I don't remember seeing a video like that, man.
You don't remember movies that we seen 5 minutes ago, so I believe
so
that.
you know how I get down. I give it up. Anyway,
Where was Lisa Stanfield from? Do we know?
I don't know where she's from. Ask the Googles.
She wasn't one of us?
No, she's definitely not one of us.
she's not,
I
bro.
thought she was Puerto Rican.
That's our song.
I think she's like English. I think she's from like England or something like she's
Makes
from
sense.
across the pond.
It was a hit.
It was a
big
hit.
tune. It was a big tune.
It was a
bro.
big hit. That
It's
was
still a big tune.
I-
That joint drop anytime. Everybody knows every
knows the
word.
Everybody definitely knows the words.
We
to
going
that.
in.
I'm surprised that y'all didn't go like older. Like that's an old record, but like
Like Bobby Caldwell type.
no, well you could have done Bobby Caldwell, but you know what? I'm gonna let you be in your zone. This is a man who, again, you will forever be known as the guy who thought Color Purple was a rom-com.
Why do you keep going back to that, man?
Because
How was it not?
we're not.
How about that?
Let's let it go.
What part of that movie you
Keep
didn't
it.
laugh
Let's
at?
just move.
I'm going to give my favorite non-Black anthem, and it's funny because people think non-Black and they automatically go white, right? And so, like, I'm not gonna go K-pop on them. I ain't gonna go my K-pop bag on them, but this is my favorite non-Black. Who doesn't know this? When this comes on,
Wait.
yes, sir.
Wait.
Elvis Crespo, Suavemente.
Whoa,
when this
whoa.
drops,
But they us.
That's us, bro.
That's us.
Come on, man.
Come on.
You can't
just
do
wasted
that.
our time.
Word.
How did I waste your time?
Because you can't use them.
How not? You said them. You said not us.
Suavemente. That's us, manito. Like Spanish
Manito,
and
that's
black.
manito?
Yes, it's manito. You know
That's
what I mean?
us.
That's us.
Come on, bro.
Elvis Crespo, I'm not sure if he's qualifying as us. If he's Dominican, he us. He's not Dominican though.
He no Dominican, he no black.
He no black.
But he's Dominican.
He no black. He's
He's
Dominican.
us, man.
He's not Dominican though. He's not Dominican. If he
I don't
was,
care where he's from. That's us. Suavemente is us.
you claim it's Suavemente?
That's us.
Yes.
That's every bodega in New York City.
Come on, man.
All
The
boroughs.
cat's
That's
on
us.
the bread.
Word.
Y'all
That's
taking
us.
Suavemente from me as my
That's
answer?
Nah,
no
you
me,
can't.
baby. That's us, huh? Pick somebody else.
All right.
We still got time. Pick
So
somebody else.
I'll go with my 80s bag is big, so I will go with Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. That comes on. Black people know it. We don't know the words, but when the chorus comes on,
Can I switch mine then?
yeah, please. I would hope so because I'm
no more blurred lines. That's still a hit though, even though regardless of what it's about, don't matter. It was lit. I'm gonna go with Pat Benatar.
Which one?
We are young.
Okay.
Heartache to heartache.
Yeah.
That joint was crazy.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
And I wasn't allowed to
big
listen to
tune.
the others in my house growing up.
Oh, really?
But that one snuck through the cracks.
Oh, that one got in?
That one got in.
There's
I don't
a
think my
lot-
mom knew that she was white though.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I could get my Elton John bag, like Benny and the Jets.
That was the 80s? I thought that was 70s.
It doesn't matter when it was from.
Okay.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Like hey, this is my thing.
I'm
But
fronting like I know any of these songs.
Nothing.
I don't know nothing
Zero.
that you're talking about. Son.
I'm just sitting here shaking my head.
Word.
if you heard them, you
Nah,
would know.
bro. I swam across the 7 seas.
Yo,
That's all I got for you right now.
That's all you got for me? That'll be that. All right. So our next shortcut. There have been some people online, some videos that have surfaced. You probably seen them. This really big dude. He's like big and like super buff.
The dancer?
But he's always doing like the body roll dances, and he's
Come on. Son.
he bucks his eyes. He's doing it around food a lot. Now we got another guy, like a chicken guy. He's like dancing for fried chicken wings and pouring sauce on them, and they like kind of sort of buck their eyes, and it's generated this slight debate because like Cardi came out, like there were a lot of people who were like, yo, this is modern day like, minstrel business. And then Cardi came out and was like, nah, y'all just hating, let them make their money or let them do what they do. This is just popular, so on and so forth. I think that this is a little dangerous. I'm not here for it. I wouldn't be here for it in general, but I'm just not here for it just in general because of, and I think, Kurt, you may have sent me like something about the conversation. Is it a matter, like, have we gone too far with the clout chasing? Because a lot of it's buffoonery. Just in general, like before, you could take these specific examples out of it, but like a lot of it is actual intentional buffoonery. Are we looking at it too seriously or is it an actual issue? Kurt?
I would say it's a pathetic both. I think clout chasing has created an identity of no longer things that's within reach. It's about going to the next level of playing yourself, in my opinion. But that's what we do to secure the bag these days, right? It's a new lane. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting old because I can't appreciate the newness of it, and then I get tossed into the old N-word bag. You know what I mean? But I've had enough, man. I'm tired of always having to make excuses for my brothers and sisters. Like I don't have no more fight in me. I'm done. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all always trying to. I'm telling you, like I'm just tired.
You
man.
tired of
That's
it.
it. So big man, you want Krispy Kreme is up the block. Meet me in there. You do your little shaky dance. Hopefully we get some free donuts out the joint. I'm done.
Really?
I'm done. Son. Tired of this. Every week we can talk about some new BS. For what? It's never gonna stop. It's too late. It's over.
You just think
It's over. Where's Harriet at?
But
Line 'em up.
but really quickly, I want to push back on you, and then I want to hear from G. I do think that there are some people who, for example, not necessarily the people who are doing it, but the people who are consuming it, who may not be aware of the history. They may not be aware of Man Tan and some of the other sort of like minstrel shows around that are in that genre of like the goofy smile and the buck eyes and the watermelon in ways that if they knew or were educated and somebody took the time to say like, yo, here's why this is not what it is, here's why this is not lit, they might not consume it or process it in the same way. Like, I don't know what Cardi knows. I don't know what history Cardi has engaged, but she may not be aware of like, there's actually a very long history of this and why it's offensive and problematic and buffoonish. It's not just like, let them get their bag.
Well, I got two, I guess, questions about that, right? First one is why are we listening to Cardi, right? However she feels is how she feels, and that's cool. But
all right,
if she's talking about our issues, then she should be excluded. Right?
Hold on, you couldn't let me have Elvis Crespo, but now you say she's talking about our issue. How that work?
Beat it, right? So then, and the second thing too is, why is it that the things we don't educate others on, they fall right in lines of the thing that they don't know? You know what I'm trying to say?
That's fair.
You know what you're doing. Yeah. You know why.
I'm just trying to follow the thought process here. You guys are thinking that these characters are doing this with a minstrel mindset, because I don't know if the two align. Because I think the whole minstrel idea was that it was catered directly toward a white community. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was their entertainment. But for these characters, I don't see that being the case. I just think cats is just being clowns because clowns draw. They're trying to be funny.
But who's the
audience?
Who are you entertaining as a clown?
Us. I think we're the one that's freaking following it and seeing it. You understand what I'm saying?
No. In a lot of the videos, it's white people. They're in restaurants with white people and they're dancing around. Not necessarily for white people.
That's what I'm saying. But
in front of these white people.
But I'm just saying, like, this is where I'm getting confused here. If they're not doing it for white people, why are we calling it minstrel? You know what I'm saying? Like, if their intent is that.
Oh, I mean, you asked a very great question. I think my affinity, my people's affinity for the other people. I don't want to go too crazy with this.
Go ahead, say what's on your mind. You didn't already.
I mean, I've had this discussion with some near and dear friends of mine, and there's a love that we have for the others that we don't necessarily always want to admit to, but it shows in our actions and the way we, quote unquote, entertain each other and things like that. It is in a perspective of they're watching, so keep it consistent for what they've shown us was acceptable, and then force us to like it too, kind of a mindset. So that's how I view it.
That's how you're viewing it. Okay.
And I think that like there is a space of what may have been minstreling and buffoonery in one era evolving in a different way, because you're talking about, for example, you're not talking about a theater where only white people can go and pay for admission, and then this is specifically who they're showing. You're talking about social media, where you kind of sort of don't control the audience.
That's my point.
Well, so I think that it's not necessarily apples to apples in as much as, because of the fact that they don't control the platform, that doesn't necessarily mean that more people being exposed to it doesn't make it minstreling. I just think it's minstreling evolved.
Right. I mean, I guess
minstrel on steroids.
Yeah.
I guess my thought process is really just on, are these clowns just being clowns that's just trying to be funny and create something that's comical and we're overthinking it? You know what I'm saying? Or is this intentional minstrel behavior? I'm anti-minstrel behavior, performing. I'm not with none of that. So I don't want to sound like in any way, shape, or form
I know
that I'm here to endorse anything like that. I'm just saying, are we misunderstanding what we're looking at to be minstrel versus these cats as being clowns? Because what we have seen on social media is folks just constantly doing whatever it takes for views. You understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. I'm going to hang off this cliff with a hair thread, you know what I'm saying, to show I'm a daredevil. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I think
there's no limit to that. You know what I mean? Are we looking at that, or is this like?
I think you're putting a lot of emphasis on, and I understand why, but I think you're putting a lot of emphasis on how cognizant they are of what it is that they're doing in that way.
Right.
I think,
like, if they face painted, you know what I'm saying? And
but that's what I was going to ask you. Like, at what point for you in modern day time, what do they have to do for you to be unequivocally, this is some minstrel shit? Like, That's why I was gonna go with your
Where's
question.
your line?
Yeah, what's your line where you say, all right, now they're playing?
Yo,
this
we
out.
way past that. I'm just saying social media has made it impossible to create a barometer on what is acceptable visual content and not. Cats is, I gotta watch cats brush their teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nothing but clown content all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? To put a label of minstrel on the clown content, I'm just like, wait, I need to be some real specific minstrel ingredients for me to consider it minstrel content.
I think
Because there's so much
I think
shenanigans on social media. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
where I disagree. I don't necessarily I don't need the explicit intention of minstreling for white people to call some stuff buffoonery. I think that the buffoonery is what it is. Whether you the buffoonery is the action for me, not the intention. Your intention can only amplify to me the buffoonery or where you're going with it. But the fact that you're like, oh, I did this dance around this fried chicken because I thought it was funny doesn't make it any less minstrelly to me in terms of the space that I'm in. I just think it is what it is.
All of it is the same.
All of it,
Right.
It's not necessarily the same because there are different degrees. Because once you add the intention, it's worse. But absent the intention, I don't think that it sort of now bounces you to another category where it's like, oh, that's acceptable because that's just jokes. That's just clowning. I think it's all a mess. And I think that how we talk to each other about consuming it, I'm at least telling people, yo, don't send me that.
Right.
Don't send me that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you want to watch that, that's your business, but don't send that to me. But, it is what it is. That's going to bring us to our contributor segment. We're going to move on now. And since we have her on the couch, we've been talking to her about so many different things. She brings such a beautiful, we love having our different dream team members on when they bring different stuff. We got Habitual by Hillary. We got Style and Performance with CEO. We got Smooth as Cashmere. But, there's something special about Branded by G. And so that brings us to our contributor segment about Branded by G. What do we got today in today's conversation and our contributor segment? What are we talking about?
So
here?
today we're gonna be talking about age, getting old.
Ain't nothing but a number. Yeah?
Age ain't nothing but a number, but it's a real thing.
Okay.
It's a real thing that comes with some real realities. And I don't feel like, we want to talk about them.
Is this because you had a birthday recently?
Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with that, man. It's got to do with the reality that time is moving.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And no, we can look at it in a lot of different ways, right? There's some folks that are scared to get old. They want to be forever 20. You know what I'm saying? They still in the clubs.
Peter Pans.
They out here just looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? They wearing, the females is like, yo, that tennis skirt is too short. You just can't wear it no more.
Let it go,
It's not,
man.
let it go. You know what I'm saying? But, and then there's the other side.
You don't want to let it go?
She ain't gonna let it go.
She's not gonna let it go. Let her rock
With
it.
that Popeye tattoo,
Nah.
all that. Show
With
your age.
the Paul Prince.
All that.
All of it. Nah, but then there's, the whole reality around us not really addressing some of the real issues around aging. You know what I'm saying? Like our health and how we care for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Or real conversations around, some of the things the challenges that we encounter. You know what I mean? Like in industry, a lot of major corporations are looking for younger faces. Maybe 50 isn't the best time to think about changing careers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they looking at you as you're already expired. But are you? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, at 50, you could be probably in your greatest space. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, your experience, your knowledge base, but they don't want to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? If they can try to get something that's a lot cheaper.
So let me ask you something on this point. Recently, there was a conversation that was had. I don't want to really get into the background about how it came up, but about whether a woman is past her prime at 50. And some comments were made and about Nikki Haley jumping into the presidential race, all that other stuff. Did you find the comment? Are you familiar with the situation, or did you?
I'm not about Nikki Haley. I'm really not into
Okay, so
politics with her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into politics either necessarily, but someone basically said, look, Nikki Haley getting into the presidential race, he was talking about her timing. I think she's 51. And she was described as a woman past her prime.
Right.
Does that offend you?
It does. You know why it does? Because it's not an equal space for men.
Fair.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
Fair.
the idea that she's past her prime at 51 versus a man being 51 and deciding to enter the election
Move out of
race.
mom's
He's
house.
young.
He's young. You know what I'm
You
saying?
finally want to move out of mom's house at
Right.
51?
You know, but the comparison, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, you know, constantly there's this huge disparity on the way in which we're approached as women versus the way men are approached in the same age spectrum. You know what I'm saying? The way menopause is looked at on women, where men actually go through that midlife crisis, which is a very similar experience that women experience, you know what I'm saying? But it's approached very differently. When we think midlife crisis, we think that he has a lot of money and bought a sports car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we think menopause, we think she's really hot. You know what I'm saying? She's sweating profusely. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not the same sexy concept or idea.
It is.
It's
It
not.
could be. I'll say it could
I'm
be.
just saying for men to women, it's not. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I
but
find
Gloria,
that-
come on, like every week you come up here and you want to act like it's equal. It's never gonna be equal.
No, I know it's
So
not going to
stop.
be equal, but we need to start
Men
talking about it more.
Age like wine, y'all age like bananas, and it's okay.
Wow.
All right,
I
so-
love you.
This is the problem. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
tell
saying?
me,
Like,
what's the problem?
The problem is that you have a couple that's aging. Both y'all fucking circumferences is growing at the same pace. But somehow, because I've been feeding your fat ass, you're sexy, and my ass that done pushed out 8 babies,
Yeah.
I'm out of shape. Like, it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
It
So
could
I'm
be.
here on a chair
But it
to
will
represent
never be
all
the
the women.
same.
It ain't gotta be the same,
That's
but
it.
I'm gonna say it.
8 babies and 4 ham hocks later, you got bigger, baby.
I know.
I love it, but god damn.
That's why I left that clown and
So-
got the new cat that was appreciating every one of my roles, and he kissed him.
Ew.
So-
Kurt, he kissed every role and he loved it.
I believe it.
So
And he's probably half your age.
Exactly. And you
'Cause
know
a-
what?
a
And he
motherfucker
got
your
more
age don't-
stamina than y'all erectile dysfunctional.
And that's
I
because
don't-
of them 8
We don't want
want
to talk about that. We never want to talk about erectile
Why
dysfunction.
is there brown gravy
Y'all
in the
got
turkey wings,
dysfunction.
Gloria?
all right.
Are you trying
all
to kill me?
All right. All right. All right.
Damn it.
Because you like it.
You're making it.
And you always want to dip your biscuits in the gravy.
That's
all
right.
All right. All right. All
It's
right.
a fucking antioxidant.
We are still on the Charles Coleman podcast. Super excited about our Black Brilliance conversation, where we have luminaries from every space to have conversations about all kinds of things. We're going to get right into it. I ain't going to waste no time. Y'all already know what it is. But if you don't, really quickly, do yourself a favor. Make sure you are liking on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are sharing. If you are streaming us wherever podcasts are heard, whether that's Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, we own all of that. We everywhere like air. The Charles Coleman Podcast, your new home for Black Brilliance. Look, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have a luminary with us. I don't even really want to use the word legend. We got royalty with us. And today we're going to spell royalty because of what she's wearing with the RHO. Shout out to the Pretty Poodles on the 100 years. Some know her as a poet. Some know her as a DJ. Some know her as an author. Some know her as a host. Some know her as a speaker. But if you really, really know what time it is, you know her as Lana from Brooklyn. She is the one, the only. We got MC Lyte in the house, y'all. She's in the building. Super excited.
Thank you.
about having you. Really, really excited. So much to talk about. But first and foremost, I have to give a shout out from the Bruz to the SG Rose. Happy Centennial. Happy for that. Congratulations. I saw you out there in Indiana doing your thing. How
Thank
was
you.
that?
Thank you.
How was that?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, to have all those people there for the same purpose, like-minded individuals, specifically women, sorors, sisterhood was at an all-time high. And, you know, Indiana actually just gets a little more pretty every time I go.
That's what's up. Good to hear it. You know, right now, there is a space where, you know, social media, which wasn't a thing in 88, it wasn't a thing in 92, it wasn't a thing for a very long time, allows you the space to, as an artist, as an entertainer, as someone who's a public figure, to connect directly with your audience in ways that previously were much more challenging. Previously, it was like I had to go to a concert, or I had to go to a show, or I had to go to a book signing and hope that I saw you and hope that, that was that. But at the same time, it also encourages like a certain level of, for newer cats, a certain level of like messiness because of clout chasing and trying to be sort of relevant and stay in that space. Do you ever think the value of, would you ever trade that? Like, would you ever put social media, if it meant that it was going to, be involved this messiness that it usually does, would you ever prefer to put that back in, you know, 89, 88, 91, 92, 93, if it would have allowed you to connect directly with your fans globally? Or are you like, yo, you know what, I'm good, I didn't necessarily need that?
Yeah, no, I think the way that it is, your line, it is what it is. Um, it wasn't there and we made do. And I imagine if it were, it would have been a lot different for a lot of us that were out in the, late 80s, early 90s, even for those who came out in the 70s. I mean, to have a worldwide access to send a thought, a message, a picture, any of those things out into the ether and have all of these people receive a communication from you, by far is extreme power. However, I think humble beginnings is the way it was meant for hip hop and for a lot of other talent that may have been, rocking the block at one time, be it comedy or choreography or, DJing, all of the elements of hip hop. They were great in their communities, in their neighborhoods, and then sort of had this natural progression of moving out into their city, state, and then the surrounding states. I think it's something to be said for a slow grind.
I agree with you.
and
Yeah.
and real, the reality of it. It's not like all these numbers where people can just click a button and say they're involved and they're participating. In our day, people had to get up, go out, and show up to a concert in order to really say, I'm in this and I'm a true fan. Now you can't really tell.
Or even, right, like, so I have this conversation about streaming, right? Like, even the idea that back in whenever, you had to get up on Tuesday, hit Sam Goody, hit Crazy Eddie, hit wherever it was, and actually buy a cassette, actually go and purchase an album, where as opposed to, and that is part and parcel what fandom looked like at that time, as opposed to like, yo, I can really just press a button
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I listen to the album, maybe I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get it anyway because I pay one price per month to get as much music as I want.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I like the album, whether I listen to it again, really doesn't matter. There's a different level, in my opinion, of commitment when you actually get up and you decide like, yo, I'm going to the store and I'm going to get this CD, or I'm going to get this LP, I'm going to get this vinyl,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Very, very different.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is. And now, some of the mystery is gone. There are even artists that I may hear, and because I'm unfamiliar with their work, I may have purchased a ticket to go see them. Now it's really easy to, oh, who is this? Go to IG, go to Twitter, let me hear some more of the music, go to Spot, go to any of the platforms. Oh, okay, maybe they have a video. Go to the YouTube, see the video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I feel like I know now.
Right. And, it's interesting because there are a number of things about that I find troubling. A lot of it has to do with the way that we consume music and the way that music is made now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no buffer in terms of putting out music and where it is. The other thing is, and that cuts both ways. It could be a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is the demand for you to build a buzz before you are looked at by a label, because of the fact that labels are looking for sort of prepackaged artists, require that you have so much content out there. So you're right. It is something where, like, to experience an artist before, you heard their single, maybe you waited for the album, and then when they was working the album on tour doing shows, you would go check them and then really see what they was about. Now, like you said, you had to do all that. You have to do all that stuff as an artist on the front end to build a buzz, to get those followers, to sort of get your numbers up. Where the label is like not as concerned with talent as they are concerned with whatever numbers you're putting up beforehand before they really want to mess with you, which I think is very problematic. And another thing that it does, I find, is that it really encourages people who do not know how to perform. They could do videos, they could do social media, but a lot of these people have really, really weak, if not altogether whack stage shows. Their stage game is terrible. It's like awful. Do you ever feel like, because here's the thing, I'm having this continued conversation with a bunch of people about, I call it aging out of hip hop, no country for old men, no country for old MCs. I don't want to be genderist or sexist, so I won't limit it to men. But do you ever have a feeling that as we continue to age through hip hop and as hip hop continues to age with us, that people sort of want to or apply a certain level of pressure to keep your art or where they encountered you into a space and not allow your art to sort of like transition, like, yo, guess what? I'm doing other stuff now. I'm writing books. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, do you ever feel that pressure because of their nostalgia that they want to sort of keep you in a space?
No, not as it relates to other types of art forms. I think I feel that mostly in the space of music.
Yeah, all right.
They want to hear me on a certain type of track. They want to relegate my content to what it was that I was talking about then. I mean, so what? That's what they want. That may not be what happens, but, and, quite frankly, those are the people who already know MC Lyte. I can do whatever kind of music for the people that aren't familiar with what it is that I did,
Does it make sense?
30 years ago. So, no, I don't really encounter that too much. I think the biggest thing is me just being ready for wherever it is that I'm trying to go. So I'm not just showing up saying I want to do this different thing, but this different thing I have studied and I have gotten, my chops, spent my time, put my hours in learning that particular craft. And now here I'm showing up knowing what to do. I think at that point, it's like all you need is someone to like it and believe you and give you a chance. And then it's done.
Speaking about, people wanting you to make certain songs or appear in certain ways that you used to, I got to ask you a question that's also related to time, growth, your art, where you've been, so on and so forth. I'm a Lyte fan. I'm not a journalist, so I don't have to worry about like people who are journalists can't say during conversations like, "Oh, I'm a fan." I'm not a journalist, so I can say I'm a fan. And I'm a Lyte fan, and the things when we get into conversations, the discussions that I have about you are never the conversations that like people really sort of know. Like maybe people start with like, oh, paper thin, cha cha cha. Like they'll start there, but usually for them, it's like Roughneck and Georgie Porgy, and I don't have no problem with none of those records. I really do. I think that they're dope records, and I'm glad that you made them. Clearly, that's a flex in the background with all of them plaques on the wall, and I'm not mad at that. That's what you're supposed to do.
Had to come from somewhere. Look,
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But one of my favorite records, and this is personal. You have me by a couple of years, which is fine. But as a young man who at the time had a crush on MC Lyte, one of my favorite records is Too Young for What. And I gotta ask you about the record. First of all, I love the sample of Impeach the President along with Groove With Me. Like that union, musically for me, is nuts. Like Impeach the President is one of my favorite drum loops. So to slow that down and then put Groove With Me over it was just nuts.
Yeah, that was
But
it was DJ Master T did that record.
I love that record. But so for me, I used to listen to that record and be like, yo, I might have a chance to like it. I might get it. I might get it.
Right.
I'm talking about as a teenager, I was ready.
Mike could get it.
I was ready. But all jokes aside, you couldn't make that record in 2023. Like those, you couldn't make that record in 2023. Would you perform it now?
It's
Like,
a lot of It's a lot of records you couldn't do now that you could do then.
I know, but I'm saying like, so my question is like, would you perform it or would you be like, nah, I'm not?
I don't think I've ever performed that song. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. When I recorded it, I didn't even imagine performing it. It just, this is an album track. This is, cool concept. But no, I never thought, oh, can't wait to get on stage and perform that. No. But the entire climate was changed. We've got, unfortunately, fortunately but unfortunately, a Me Too movement that has taken on a life of its own, and men are being called to a higher standard now than 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I mean, everything was happening. Skeezers.
It was wide open. It was wide open.
Like I remember being in the hotel with several male artists that we had, big tours, and there were women wrapped around the hallways to get to these guys. And what was happening, I was 17, 18 years old. What went on behind closed doors, I have no idea. But that's not something that can happen today. So we said a whole lot of things in 1980 whatever that just you can't say today.
From a gender space, was that record kind of like, you know what? Because you're right. At that time, had a dude made that record, it wouldn't have been nothing. Nobody would have said nothing. No one would have thought about it. Was there a little bit of like, you know what? I'm a female MC. I'm an MC first, and I'm also a female MC, and I'm gonna flip this dynamic because I can. Was there any thought process around that, or was it just like, yo, I want to make a fun record that I think would be a cool concept?
Yeah. I think for me, it was just making a fun record, but also, even from I Crammed to Understand You and 10% Dis and Roughneck, and just all throughout time, I've always said that I could do that too. Or not only I can, but representative of many women who feel the same way. So I, in essence, with a lot of my rhymes, allowed the public, specifically men, to sit in to what women talk about. Even with Paper Thin, it's like, what you say is just paper thin. You love me. I'm not feeling that. I don't even know if I could trust you. So going through all of those things, I think is just representative of what a lot of young women, older women think about.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I want to know, because you have been in so many different spaces, a lot of your contemporaries, which I appreciate, still, like Kane posted a video not too recently, not too long ago, about he was somewhere just rocking, and like his pen game is ill. Still, his pen game is retarded. Still.
Yeah.
You do you ever get the itch? Like, does that light ever get the itch? I know you still are in your artistry, and I appreciate that. But does that light ever get the itch with your pen to just really get in it, or are you kind of like having
Yeah,
this transition?
yeah. I mean, I think the last time I went at it was on the TV show that I, executive produce and co-create, and got a chance to do a little something there. But most of the time, my mind is not there where that light was. That's Brooklyn, New York. That's,
Absolutely.
trying to survive day in and day out, getting on the train, going to Manhattan, trying to make it back home. It's a whole nother way of living, and a whole nother way of surviving and trying to strive at the same time. So is it that light? I don't know. And I've seen, Kane go at it. As a matter of fact, he was a guest on the TV show where he did, somewhat of a freestyle. And yes, it's golden. Many of us who loved it then, we love it now.
Right.
It's just,
That's why I would think at some point it's hard not to. But
oh
I
yeah, I
also
don't walk around saying I'm not, like I'm not going to do that. It's just that there's 24 hours in a day. So where am I going to put the energy?
no,
Yeah.
it makes total sense to me, and I understand. I think the worst thing that happens, I think, is there's a thin line between wanting to engage that because it's just in you and you love it versus it not being authentic.
Yeah.
Because I talk to a lot of people about like, yo, I mean, I get it. I'm in Brooklyn now. I'm in Bed-Stuy now,
Hmm.
but not you proverbially speaking, but just in the sense of any MC who's like been there and then done that and going somewhere else, you kind of look crazy rapping about the hood. Like we ain't seen you in 20
Yeah, but
years.
but
Like
but but Bed-Stuy ain't even the hood no more. Come on, stop playing.
it's not. That's real. No, that's real though. That's real. The point
It's,
is you're in a different space
yeah,
and it's okay to be in a different space.
yeah.
And so to your point, it's like, I get it. The idea of you being on that frequency is like, how would you even get there? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like when your mind is in a totally different realm.
not that, and there is throughout the years a certain amount of responsibility and accountability that come with, right? And so
Sure.
that's why record labels, production companies, everybody likes to get them young. You'll say anything that's
Mm-hmm.
on your mind, you'll say it. No filter, not really understanding that you're not just rocking for the block, but you're rocking for the entire world. Now more so than ever, because at the push of a button, what you say will be transmitted to the universe. And so with that, are there times where I'm like, oh, yeah, but then you think about, okay, what sort of message is this sending right now? Like, are there things that I have something to say about? Sure. How can I get those things out now? Oh, I've got a TV show. I've got these characters here. How can I pose this particular topic and have many views presented and represented on the TV show? Yeah, this is cool. Okay, I found another way to communicate what it is that I feel and another way to get a message out.
You have a feeling responsibility to like holler at younger artists and be like, yo, listen, understand the game, understand what's happening right now. You're being put in this position because they understand that you will sort of get out here and do whatever, but you're gonna reach a point where you may regret that, or you're gonna reach a point where you may want to do something different, and the choices you make now might impact that. Or do you just sort of allow them to sort of grow and find that out as they move through the space, or seek you out rather?
Right. Well, let me just say this. There is a natural rhythm to who it is that you even come into contact with.
That's
Um,
real.
and I'm always one to share. I hear to this day people who tell me, "Oh, you told me this, when I first, performed at so and so. Oh, you shared that with me over there." So I'm always imparting whatever it is I can to help. It's whether or not they're open enough to receive and take it and use it, and that they make it mean something for them. It only matters if not only do they hear it, but that they listen and heed, and hopefully it can benefit. The information that I have can benefit, because there's so much that we as the generation who came before can teach, just like I can learn from those who came before me, which is why I not only extend an olive branch back, but I'm also holding on to the branches that came before, with Curtis Blow, KRS-One, Chuck D, all of us who have, Hip Hop Alliance, which I serve as a member and as vice chair. Those are the moments that we all want to be able to give this information, these gems, jewels, to this younger generation, but they have to be open and willing to learn. And I'm always talking to Rhapsody and Tierra Whack and Lady London, and these are some of the younger Mama Soul. Uh, um, there's
All the
there's
all
so
crazy pin games, every one of them.
yeah, I mean, there's so many of them, and we kind of, we're cut from the same cloth, so we kind of gravitate towards one another. Is there
Makes
something I'd like to say to someone else or anyone else? Sure, it just has to be the right time, And I most recently did an interview with Lotto for, I think it was Billboard magazine, or forgive me if it wasn't, I can't remember now. But it was great to meet her, and we had a chance to dialogue over a couple of different issues. But it's just the space, having the space to do so.
Yeah. Listen, there's so much that I could talk to you about. The challenge with you is that you've done, like I said, like a billion interviews, and so I do not want to talk about everything that you always get asked. But I do have one last question though before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
This is a fun one. So me and my friends play life or death karaoke, and that is like, because people are good at karaoke. Some people are really good at karaoke,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to hip hop, some people like they get out of 16 bars, they might get 12 right. So we up the stakes. Like, it's life or death karaoke. Like, if you got 3 verses, you don't even have to do full songs. 3 hip hop verses that are not yours. They're not yours. Mm-hmm. That you have to get every word right. What are the 3? Either you can do full songs or just verses. What do you got? Life or death karaoke MC Lyte.
Probably Eric B. for president. That first verse.
That's a good one.
First verse of Lottie Dottie.
Okay, I actually knew Lottie Dottie was going to come up for you. Like, I knew that one was coming. It was either going to be that or something by Slick Rick. I was like, it's either gonna be Lottie Dottie or something else by Slick Rick. Something off the Adventures.
Yeah. I mean, Children's Story, Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Lottie Dottie or Mona Lisa. That's what I was
Slick.
Give me one more.
Slick Rick is it. I could probably do a verse from South Bronx, KRS-One.
I'm a Queens dude.
So and then I could probably do the original Queensbridge. The bridge is over. I could probably rock that. Yeah, it's UTFO, a Rapper's Delight. I mean, who doesn't know Rapper's Delight from my era?
A lot of people get that wrong though. Mad people get that wrong because first of all, it depends on what version, because it's mad versions.
Yeah, it is mad versions. You wrote about.
And then like after the the first like 6 to 8 bars, people kind of fall off a little bit. Another one that people sort of start strong but can't finish is Sucker MCs. People messed that up.
Oh, I know the exact line because I mess up on it too because it's unclear.
It is.
It is unclear.
I know exactly.
So
it is unclear.
I'm all about that diction. Look, I'd be in real trouble if somebody cut that short.
I know. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like that.
Yeah. All about the pronunciation.
There you go. I ain't gonna do you like that for likes. I'm not gonna do you like that. Listen, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on the Charles Coleman podcast
Thank
for our
you.
Black Brilliant Conversations. This has been an amazing one with the one, the only MC Lyte.
Thank you.
Who has been in the house. Make sure you are following her. Make sure you are watching. Make sure you are liking. Make sure you are just plugged into the light source, because that's what it is. Peace.